Welcome back, sit down and get comfy, and in today's video, we are tackling one of the most respected modern seinen animes out there, Vinland Saga. Vinland, which historically refers specifically to Canada in modern day Newfoundland. This series was written and illustrated by Makoto Yukimura, and it's not your typical Viking revenge story. At first, it looks like it's going to be all blood, swords, and battlefield glory, but the deeper you get, the more the series starts questioning whether any of that violence actually means anything. We'll get into the history of the show in a sec, but before we get any further, make sure to subscribe to this channel and don't forget to hit that bell icon so you never miss any updates. Now without further ado, let's get it. Vinland Saga first aired on NHK General TV on July 7th, 2019, and ran until June 20th, 2023. The first season was produced by Wit Studio, and the second season produced by MAPPA. Ultimately, the anime totals 48 episodes. So let's hop into the story. One day, in a brutal Viking battle, the legendary warrior Thors becomes disgusted by war and deserts after falling into the sea. 15 years later, he lives quietly in Iceland with his wife Helga, daughter Ylva, and young son Thorfinn. Thorfinn dreams of adventure and becomes fascinated by Vinland, a peaceful land described by the explorer Leif Erikson. But Thor's past catches up to him when Floki of the Jomsvikings arrives, demanding that he join the Danish war against England. To protect his village, Thors agrees, unaware that Floki has secretly hired the mercenary Askeladd to kill him. Thorfinn secretly stows away on his father's ship, and when they stop in the middle of the islands, Askeladd's men ambush them. Thors defeats many of them without killing anyone, and even beats Askeladd in a duel. But he surrenders to save his son Thorfinn and the villagers, and Askeladd has him killed by arrows anyways. Traumatized by his father's death, Thorfinn sneaks onto Askeladd's ship and swears revenge. Thorfinn follows his band through England, trying and failing to kill him repeatedly. Askeladd notices his potential and promises him duels if he can prove himself in battle. From this point forward, Thorfinn grows up among raiders, becomes a skilled but angry killer, and during the Danish invasion of England, he fights for Askeladd while chasing the chance to avenge Thors. Eventually, Askeladd's group joins King Sweyn's campaign, but the war stalls at London Bridge, guarded by the powerful Thorkel. Askeladd offers Thorfinn another duel if he can kill Thorkel, but Thorfinn is badly outmatched. Prince Canute, son of the king, is left behind during the campaign. He's timid, sheltered, and protected by Ragnar. Thorkel captures Canute, but Askeladd uses chaos and fire to steal him away. Askeladd then flees through Wales, revealing his secret Welsh ancestry and his connection to the legendary King Artorius. He hates the Danes and hopes to protect Wales from the conquest. As winter sets in, Askeladd's men grow desperate. They slaughter a Christian village for food and later begin to lose faith in him. To force Canute to mature, Askeladd secretly has Ragnar killed. Canute eventually has a spiritual awakening after speaking with a priest about love, suffering, and leadership. He stops being passive and decides to become a king who can challenge the cruel world around him. Skipping ahead, Askeladd's men mutiny, and he reveals his hatred for the Danes before killing many of his own followers. Thorfinn returns, not out of loyalty, but because he refuses to let anyone else kill Askeladd before he can. Thorkel arrives, and Thorfinn challenges him to a duel for the right to claim Askeladd's life. During the fight, Thorkel reveals he knew Thors, and that Thors had abandoned the warrior life after realizing that true strength meant rejecting violence. With Askeladd's help, Thorfinn defeats Thorkel by exploiting his weakness. Canute then convinces Thorkel and Askeladd to join his side against the king. At Gainsborough, Canute confronts Sweyn and learns the king expected him to die. Askeladd then protects Canute politically while secretly working to strengthen his claim. In York, Askeladd even stages an assassination attempt against Canute to make it look like Sweyn wants him dead. After this, Thorfinn reunites with Leif, but refuses to return home because revenge is still his only purpose. Thorfinn then challenges Askeladd again, but loses. Askeladd reveals his past as the son of a Welsh slave woman and a Viking father he despised. He killed his father through careful manipulation, showing that he understands revenge far better than Thorfinn does. He mocks Thorfinn for wasting his life chasing a meaningless duel while being used as a tool. At the Imperial Council in York, King Sweyn announces plans to conquer Wales. Askeladd tries to stop him, but the king forces him to choose: protect Wales or protect Canute. Cornered, Askeladd chooses both. He publicly insults the king and reveals his true name as Lucius Artorius Castus, declaring himself the rightful ruler of Britannia and beheads the king. Canute understands Askeladd's sacrifice and kills him to take control of the situation. Thorfinn arrives a little too late and watches Askeladd die in his arms. Having lost the man he hated and the revenge that defined him, Thorfinn breaks down and attacks Canute before being dragged away. Years later, after these events, a young English farmer named Einar loses everything when Vikings raid his village. His mother and sister are killed, and he's sold into slavery in Denmark. He's bought by Ketil, a wealthy landowner, and sent to work on a farm, where he meets none other than Thorfinn, who's now a slave himself. Unlike the furious boy from before, Thorfinn is quiet, empty, and a little broken. Ketil tells them that if they clear a forest, plant crops, and earn enough money, they can actually buy their freedom back. So you know what? Boys, let's get to work. Get the hell out of this situation and get back to killing. Please, Thorfinn, please. However, their life is difficult. With little food and abuse from the farm retainers, shit gets rough for the both of them, but Thorfinn slowly starts to make a new friend. Elsewhere, Ketil's younger son, Omar, dreams of becoming a warrior despite having no experience. When guards try to force Omar to kill a slave to build courage, Thorfinn offers himself instead. The guard Fox cuts him repeatedly, but Thorfinn does not react because he no longer fears death. Snake, the head of the guards, stops the abuse and later tests Thorfinn, causing him to instinctively defend himself. This being proof that somewhere deep down, Thorfinn still has a will to live. Thorfinn begins suffering nightmares of the people he killed in the past, and Einar, who hates warriors, nearly strangles him in rage, but stops when he realizes that Thorfinn is haunted by his past. Over time, the two work together, borrow a horse from Ketil's father, Sverkel, and learn the dignity of farming, as the two actually start to become friends. Meanwhile, Canute has become king of England and Denmark, but ruling requires money. To fund his empire, he plans to seize wealthy farms, including Ketil's. Ketil visits Canute with his sons Thorgil and Omar, but Omar embarrasses the family. Canute's men manipulate Omar into killing one of the king's soldiers, giving Canute an excuse to confiscate Ketil's land. Ketil, Thorgil, and Omar flee back to the farm with Leif, who has finally found Thorfinn. Meanwhile, on the farm, Einar grows close to Ketil's enslaved personal attendant. Her husband, Gardar, also enslaved, escapes after killing his masters and comes looking for her. She reveals that Gardar once left their village to fight over resources, and while the men were gone, their home was raided and she lost their son. He is then captured by Snake, but she helps him escape. Thorfinn and Einar try to help them, but Snake catches them, and Gardar is fatally wounded and dies in her arms, realizing too late that chasing war cost him his family. When Ketil returns and learns that she tried to escape, he savagely beats her, even though she is pregnant. She later dies while Thorfinn tells her about Vinland, a land without war or slavery. Einar, devastated, confesses that he loved her. After this, Canute arrives to seize the farm. Ketil gathers untrained men to fight, but they're no match for Canute's soldiers. Omar, seeing the destruction caused by his pride, chooses to surrender. Thorfinn decides to meet Canute and stop the bloodshed. To earn an audience, he endures 100 punches without fighting back. When he finally speaks to Canute, he admits he cannot defeat the king's plans by force, so he will go somewhere beyond his reach and build a land free from war and slavery. Canute is moved enough to abandon his violent land seizure plan. With this, Thorfinn and Einar leave with Leif and return to Iceland. At first, even Thorfinn's family barely recognizes him, but his mother confirms his identity. Thorfinn recounts the 16 years he was gone, accepts the weight of his past mistakes, and declares his dream of going to Vinland to create a peaceful place where people can live without swords. His mother blesses him, and Leif agrees to help him prepare for the journey. And that's the end of Vinland Saga, at least what we have so far in the anime for seasons 1 and 2. Yo, honestly, season 1 for me was dope. The fights, the big ass Vikings just totally wrecking each other to smithereens, the bloodshed, it was crazy. I'm not even all that into gore, but the anime just captivated me, bro. It was actually insane tale, and I really felt for Thorfinn. However, season 2, I'm not gonna lie, while it has a lot of critical acclaim, I fall under the camp of people who just did not vibe with the slave arc. The story was so slow. We're watching somebody that we saw become an absolute beast just walk around and virtually just want to give up on life. It just felt so defeating. And yeah, I get it, the I have no enemies finally clicked into this man's head and he realizes he's gonna walk a better path, which is cool. I'm with that. Be a better man. That's, you know, that's all we can strive to do as people on this planet, be better. But don't give me candy and then when I start eating it, you tell me, actually, you know what? The rest of the bag is filled with raisins. I'm just saying. With that being said, thanks for watching the channel. If you want to support, join the membership. Really appreciate y'all. And you can join the Patreon as well. Slice the subscribe button, kick the bell icon, and until next time, deuces.